Today's video is going to be on the vowel sounds of the Abuan alphabets. There are 10 vowel sounds in the Abuan alphabet. We know the value of vowel sounds. They bring the sound of a word. Consonants lay the foundation or the framework of a word, but the vowels bring the sound out. And that is what make Abuan language very meticulous. 10 vowel sounds as opposed to 5. I know there are other languages that probably have up to 30 vowel sounds, but that's way too much. It's just 10 is really nice and perfect, so to speak, making the Abuan language as meticulous as it is, but not too difficult to learn. So let's take a look at these vowel sounds. I have a slide that I've prepared to help us, follow through. Last time when we talked about the vowel sounds in the Abuan language, we did a classification in which we have the high-pitched vowel sounds and the low-pitched vowel sounds. So the high-pitched vowel sounds, we identify them to be the A, E, I, O, U. Okay, then the low-pitched vowel sounds, we identify them to be the A, E, I, O, U. Okay, so let's see what would be associated to each of these sounds to help us understand, so that when we are writing or spelling a word, we tone mark what should be tone marked and leave a letter untone marked because it should not be tone marked. So let's look at it. Okay, the first vowel sound, which is the A. Now, there's a reason why this is the first letter in the alphabet. The history behind it is that A is a sound that humans make when they come out from the womb at birth. So it is the cry of a child. That is the first sound humans make, and that is why it is the first letter in the alphabet in virtually all languages. A, the A sound, that is the cry of a baby. So is not the first sound. A, that is the first sound. Is a sound that humans develop as their vocal cord deepens. Okay, that comes much later, and so that's why it's not the first sound in the alphabet. Again, the first sound is A. So what are the words that can be associated with that sound? So you look at it, ta. Ta in a Bua is to extract a little, to go get a little, ta. Okay? Another word that can associate with A sound is ataka. And that is cassava, yucca plants. Okay? Another sound there that can also be associated with the A sound is alagua. Okay? Alagua, that is a gun or a rifle. Okay? Alagba can also be a word that can be associated with A. Okay? That is flag, alagba. Okay? Now, when we step down to the sound, remember this is coming from deep down because of the vocal cord being relaxed. This is a low pitch. What is a word that can be associated with that? I thought of a word like pakara. Pakara in a Bua is kind of like a broad, flat thing that is big, round, pakara, So that sound comes up. To get that sound, you have to tone mark the A. Again, that is not the first sound. The first sound is A. Okay? And then another word that can help us, bring the sound of is as in over, the wing of a bird. verb. See that to get that sound, you turn back the A. All right? So let's move on to the next vowel sound. So you see the English E in a Abuan language would be A if the E is not turned back. A. So a good example would be Edoi or Edio, which is a couple of days or a week, few days. So Edio is like a week. So, but to spell it, you just leave the E alone. Do not turn mark the E. If you turn mark the E, then it sounds which is the counterpart of the E on turn mark. The turn mark E is So a good example would be ed. That's an anthropode. We know. And then a second example, a word that would have would be like egenem. That's an anvil. Anvil is egenem, So those are two examples. Remember, A, that's the E on turn mark, and E turn mark. So if you are spelling a word, you want to be able to recognize what sound you're trying to make so that you turn mark the E or leave the E on turn mark. Right? Let's look at the next one. The first, the alphabet there, I without a turn mark. In Abua sounds E. And this is in agreement with the English I. Remember, the first person who started documenting the Abuan language is a British man. And in English, I sounds E. For instance, if you spell IT in English, it will be pronounced it. Not it. We hear a lot of people pronounce it, it. No, it. See, it just stops at the tip of your tongue. It's like an alveolar stop, okay? If you know what that means. It just right there at the tip of your palate and the tongue. So it doesn't go deep down. So when you turn back the I, then it sounds E. It's coming from deep down, okay? E. Again, it just followed the English alphabet. E. That is the first sound when it is not turned back. E. So let's look at examples of words that can be associated with E. Tear. Look at it. Tear. Tear is to push against somebody, trying to edge somebody out of a seat or against the wall. Tear. Putting pressure. Okay, so to spell that word, you do not turn mark the I. Okay, tear. Teer. Tear. All right, so look at another word. Te-tege. Te-tege. Did you see it? It's not coming from deep down the throat. Your windpipe. Te-tege. That is to tickle somebody and to make him laugh. All right. Another example would be yik. Did you see that? Yik. See, the E sound comes up. So whenever you're trying to make an E sound in your any word you're trying to spell, then you don't need to turn mark the I, the E sound. Now, when you are dealing with something that is deep down the vocal cord, like E, for example, tir. Tir is to touch, tir, or ti, which is to touch too, or to play a drum, or to play with an instrument. Use some instrument to play a musical instrument. Ti, okay? Ibi, it's a beat, okay? And then you have otiti, which is the hammer. Remember, we talk about egenem and otiti. So otiti is the hammer, okay? Whereas egenem is the anvil, used in cracking nuts, okay? Like organic zip, okay? So OTT. See, the E is coming from deep. All right? Let's check the next one. So this is where you have the O. See, the English is O, but in Abua it also O. It's the O sound. A good example would be Odo. Odo, okay? Using pounding your yam or your pepper or something, the pistol and the mortar, Odo. And then another example would be To. To is to retaliate. To is to retaliate. And then another example would be Okolo. Okolo, that is cocoyam. Oko. Oko. That is a wooden, it's rather earthen vessel. A jar of water, but earthen vessel. You have an oko. You know what I mean? Where you put your water. Okay? All right? And then when you tone back the O, the sounds then become R, a high pitch. O is low pitch. Okay? R is a high pitch. You're constricting your windpipe to make that sound. And so you tone mark it. A good example will be Odo. That is type. Okay? And Ta means to measure. It also can mean grieve, becoming sad, maybe because he lost a loved one or something. Ta, okay? Grieving or being sad. Okay? Akal, that is to sew or to stitch something. And Aka, that's to initiate somebody, kind of like a ritual to get him to join, so to pass through, it's a ritual. Aka, okay? Akaika, okay? So to make that O sound, you tone mark the O, all right? Leave the O on tone mark, it sounds O as in Odo. Odo, Odo, and things like that, okay? Now let's take a look at the next one. And that is the U sound. The U, if you don't tone mark the U, it sounds oo, oo. See, that is low pitch. But when you tone mark it, it sounds O. See, there's a constriction of it to make that sound. So what words can we associate with these sounds? The U on tone mark, which is U. Right? A good example would be ubeku. Okay, another word would be zu. Zu is to pour or to spill. Spill. That's zu. And pu is to cover. Okay, like puki. Okay, see that? Pu or tu, which is to come. Okay, so, and then if you don't turn, look at that K-U, 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 okay? That is ku, all right? If you don't turn mark the U, all right? So that example belongs to U on turn mark, all right? But then what if you turn mark the U, it becomes O, O, you see? It becomes O. See, a good example would be okoro. Okay? Ko, that is to pluck. All right? And to is to thread. Thread something. You thread something. That is to. Okay? Follow through. All right? So those are the examples of words that you can associate with the sound. So then you know what you are tone marking and what you're not tone marking. Remember, so most of the confusion I've seen is the tone marking of the I. Being an Englishman, the person who first started documenting the Abuan language, he looked at the I as the sound of the English I. So that's it. If you don't tone mark it, it gets the sound of the English I, which is E. All right. When you tone mark it, then it becomes the sound of the Abuan I, which is E when tone mark. All right. So those are points. If you have any question, you can go ahead and post it on the comment section. And again, remember there is a history behind these alphabets. The history of the alphabet, just to reiterate here, the first letter, A, on tone mark, is A, and that corresponds to the sound that humans make as they come out of the womb. That is why it's the first sound, and you can hardly ever find a language in which A is not the first sound. So again, is a sound that comes much later as humans develop a deeper vocal sound. Okay? All right, so there's a few examples, and we will be posting more and more videos on the Abuan alphabets, the combo consonants and the combo vowels. That one will be coming later in subsequent videos. Well, let's keep learning together, and